Thanks, Shreyas. Good morning. It is 7 o'clock on the dot. As many as 51 people are feared dead after a passenger plane crashed in Taiwan this morning. It comes after a Trans-Asia Airlines plane attempted to make an emergency landing in Taiwan's Penghu County off the western coast of the country. 7 people are also said to have been injured in the crash. There are more than 200 rescuers sifting through the wreckage as I speak. Taiwan media is reporting that the plane was flying a domestic route. Fire crews in North Delta are still putting out hotspots after a 2-alarm fire broke out at Sunshine Hills Elementary early this morning. This fire looks to be deliberately set. No one has been injured. Firefighters are working to make sure there is no smoke or flames inside the walls or roof of the structure. Delta police are investigating. An elderly woman is recovering after a surprise encounter with a black bear inside her North Vancouver home. Let's connect with Greg Harper now live from North Van with the latest. Greg?
Good morning, Jody. This was a very scary encounter, and it took place just behind me here. And right now, there is an elderly woman who is very lucky or unlucky, depending on how you look at it, this morning. This encounter happened at this home here behind me. There's a small creek that runs just behind it. That's where a black bear came from yesterday when it entered through the back door of the home. I spoke to the son of the 84-year-old woman who lives here. He says his mom, her eyesight is poor. She went into the kitchen, didn't know that the bear was in the fridge. She went to close the refrigerator door, and that's when the bear clawed her. She was taken to hospital where she received stitches on her wrist. She is back home and doing fine. The bear took off, but it was found not far from the home. It was tranquilized and captured by conservation officers. This North Vancouver resident says seeing bears in the area is not uncommon.
They come down, they're up in the mountains, they come down scrounging. So there's a green belt by the creek bed just up the ways. It's quite common. Bears are common on the North Shore.
This scary incident in North Vancouver comes a day after another scary one in Port Coquitlam. This happened in Lions Park. A young family discovered a bear approaching their child's stroller. Fortunately, the stroller was empty. The bear did eat some food before taking off. Meg Toom, she's with WildSafe BC, will be in our studio at about 7:40 this morning to talk about how we can prepare ourselves for an unexpected encounter with a bear, which hopefully never happens. Jody?
Indeed. We love hitting the great outdoors here. Better to be forewarned and forearmed. Thanks so much, Greg Harper, reporting live for us this morning from the North Shore. In other news, BC's police watchdog is now investigating a violent collision in Aldergrove. A Langley RCMP cruiser was responding to an emergency yesterday afternoon when it crashed into a van at Fraser Highway and 268th Street. By all accounts, the police car did have its lights and siren on at the time. All 5 people involved in the accident were taken to hospital. None of their injuries are believed to be life-threatening. The van appeared to be carrying a family of 4 from Alberta.
I really think that they need to put a proper crossing light in here. I think that would prevent a lot of the accidents that do happen at this intersection.
The Independent Investigations Office quickly took control of this case, with members spending several hours at the scene. West Vancouver police are now looking for witnesses to a possible sex assault. A disturbing story. An 11-year-old girl boarded a bus at Park Royal North Monday with a 22-year-old relative. While they were sitting down, an elderly man reportedly started groping the younger female. A fellow passenger broke up the incident, but police haven't been able to track her down. They have been questioning the suspect, but he is yet to be charged. Human error is being blamed for Monday's Skytrain shutdown, and the electrician who caused the issue has now been suspended. TransLink says the experienced electrician accidentally tripped the main breaker feeding the critical systems at Skytrain's operations center while installing a new circuit breaker for the Evergreen line. The power outage halted trains for 5 hours and shut down Skytrain's communication system. TransLink says customers added to delays by breaking out of trains. Free transit will be offered on BC Day to make up for the disruption.
Our estimate would be somewhere between an hour and a half extra to 2 hours of extra time. In one case, one of the trains was damaged. One individual used a crowbar to open the doors, and that added very much to the delay, of course, impacting everybody.
Despite America's ban on travel to Israel's main airport, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry has arrived in Tel Aviv on board a military jet. Kerry arrived today to push for an Israeli-Hamas ceasefire in Gaza, where fighting has killed 29 Israeli soldiers and nearly 650 Palestinians in the past 15 days. Air Canada canceled its scheduled flight from Toronto to Tel Aviv last night, joining many U.S. and European airlines banned from flying to the city. The ban was imposed after a Hamas-fired rocket exploded nearby. The Costa Concordia cruise liner has started its final voyage, slowly being towed away from the tiny Italian island where it capsized in 2012. Those horn blasts and huge spouts of water were shot into the air in celebration as the huge ship heads for the scrapyard. After the Concordia's departure, another search will be launched for the body of the one victim that was never found. The ship's captain is on trial for manslaughter, causing the wreck and abandoning ship before everyone was evacuated.